Gyro Signs is your best source for wide format printing, industrial signage, and safety sign needs. Gyro Signs has been in business for over 16 years. Before your order is placed, we will send over digital artwork that you can view before approving your order. We have what's called a no surprise clause. This means you'll know exactly what your bill will be before we print anything, so there are no surprises. Check out our website and email us for further action, gyrosigns.com.
Ready?
Ready?
Okay.
I'm trying to see why my head tilted. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you do whatever you just feel comfortable.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Jones again. As I promised, I have Julissa Martinez here.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
She's running for Ellis County DA, and she has an opponent. We're going to stray away from not talking about the opponent and how that opponent will do things, and we're going to concentrate on Julissa, and that's how I want this to go. We're not going to badmouth anybody. We're not going to damage anybody's credibility in here. We're only concerned about Julissa and what Julissa is going to do. So, again, thank you for joining us. The sponsor, I want to welcome the sponsor tonight is Gyro Signs. They're sponsoring this video. They're also a supporter of Miss Julissa. And I've known Julissa for, I don't know, good Lord, a long time.
A decade, more than a decade.
More than a decade.
Yeah.
And had never had anything or heard anything but great things about Julissa. And she and I, off camera, have talked about our philosophies on law and things of that nature. And I explained to her before this started that this is, for her, really, Mike Jones. I don't want y'all to think that I'm pushing Julissa because she's going to give me something down the road. You know, if one of my cases go through the DA's office and it's not good enough, that she's going to let it go because of this relationship here. She's assured me she won't do that, and I won't do that. And you have my word on that. And
you have my word on that. I mean, I'm doing this for the people of Ellis County.
Right.
You know?
Not Mike Jones's DA.
Not Mike Jones. Not for Mike Jones. I'm doing this for the people.
And so I know the people who know me know that's how I roll. And but I just wanted to put that out there for the people who don't know me. Okay, Julissa, would you just kind of give us a Reader's Digest version, I guess, to get us to the present? You know, I know you grew up in a different city than...
Right. Well, you know, I did. I was born in San Benito. I was probably there for about 48 hours. And I was raised in Harlingen, Texas, which is maybe about 20 miles from the border down there.
Right?
That's right, down by South Padre. Then when I graduated from Harlingen High School, I graduated on Friday, and the next day I took off on Saturday to Texas A&M University, where I quickly enrolled in summer classes, and then I graduated in 1993 with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology in Texas A&M. I went to go work for the city of Harlingen during that time. By the grace of God, the way God works in my life, you know, I know you're a man of God too, Mike, and when I went home after graduating with my Bachelor of Science degree, I was driving around my hometown thinking, what's the next step for Julissa Martinez? And I was trying to figure myself out, and I was passing by my old high school, and there happened to be a church that said Life Vision. And I was like, I'd never been to this church. It wasn't there when I graduated from high school, and I pulled in there, and I spoke to the young lady there her name was Janet McGee. Haven't seen her or heard of her, but her name was Janet. And God told me to stop there, and I was talking to her a little bit about what was passionate in my heart and what I wanted to do. And I was noticing a lot of graffiti in my hometown, and I was very discouraged at that time. And she says, it's funny that you stop here today because I'm part of a juvenile task force that created this position called the Youth Services Director position for the city of Harlingen to curb graffiti and gang violence and teen pregnancy. And she says, we just did this right now. You should go and inquire at City Hall. So I did. I went and inquired at City Hall. Lo and behold, they were taking applications. I interviewed between a panel of citizens, And I ended up calling her about 2 weeks later, and I said, hey, Janet, guess where I'm calling you from? And by the grace of God, I got the job, and I was there for 3 years. And I was working, and then, I got it in my heart to apply to law school. So I applied to law school. I had told my husband, whom I met at Harlingen, let's get married after law school. And he said, oh, no, we're going to get married before you go to law school. So, no, right. He was like, oh, no, we're getting married now, and I'm going with you. And I was like, okay, dear. So we got married. We were not planning on having children early, and as God had other plans. So I was accepted to St. Mary's, a private law school in San Antonio. I couldn't see myself spending the tuition once we found out that we were expecting our first child. I couldn't see myself paying for that money. So
you
then
felt guilty about taking it from the family?
I felt guilty, yes. It's one thing, he and I eating bologna and cheese sandwiches and peanut butter sandwiches, but doing that to my baby, I wasn't going to do.
Hamburger helper without the hamburger?
Exactly. So then I ended up graduating from the University of Houston Law Center. Once I graduated, he was transferred to Irving. And I said, okay, let me study for the bar. And circumstances being what they are, I didn't have money for any kind of Barbary review. I didn't take any of those courses. I didn't take Kaplan courses, but I always had faith in God that he was going to see me through it. I didn't have money for textbooks. I remember Professor Rosenberg, may she rest in peace. She saw that I didn't have textbooks, and she was like, why don't you have textbooks? I said, I don't have any money because I'm paying for this baby. And so God provided, and by the grace of God, I passed in the first time this 3-day exam. I passed it. I came over and followed my husband in Irving, looking for a place to raise the rest of our family, and God led me to Ellis County, and here we are now.
So when you got to Ellis County, you first stepped off into the DA's office, did you?
That's correct.
As an assistant prosecutor. That's
right. I interviewed with Joe Grubbs. At that time, we were at by Tractor Supply. You remember?
That building that
had
the walls.
Remember the duct tape in there? I was interviewed over there by everyone, by Joe Grubbs, and of course he called me and offered me the position. So we jumped on it, and then that's when we purchased our home here in Ellis County, and we have a boy and 2 girls, and I was there for about 5 years. Then I was like, okay, I want to learn more. I have this skill set. I have this passion to learn more. What else can I do? And I ended up partnering with Dan Cox, who is now JP.
Oh, wonderful man.
Yes, Dan Cox. I partnered with him for about 10 months. He taught me the ropes of how to handle a private law practice. He showed me the ropes, and then like a little bird, I flew. And I think that's when I first met you, Mike, because you came to my poor, humble, beginning law office in Waxahachie on Elm Street. I had an office by AAA Bell Bonds. And I remember Melville was sitting on your lap at that time. And I think that's the first time I had met you, and we just been talking ever since. The way life brings it to us.
Right. And actually, the person who first told me about you, ironically, and loves you to death, is Johnny Brown.
Oh, yes.
Back in the day, he's Julissa's this, Julissa's that, Julissa, and I'm like, who's Julissa?
Right.
And you got to understand. For those that don't know, I'm married. My wife is Hispanic. Her name is Melva. It's not a common name where I come from.
Right.
And
yes.
Julissa is not a common name.
Definitely not a common name. I get it.
Right. So that's I would who's Julissa, and ironically, here we are today.
Right.
2020, and Trump, our president, our commander-in-chief, was acquitted.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That came down a while ago. So
excellent.
Very excellent. And I've had it bad for 3 years in something close in a county, not even in the state. Trump's had it bad for 4 years, and he has still managed to be the best president as far as unemployment.
Yes.
Our
opportunities.
Opportunities.
Yes.
It's just phenomenal, and he's
security, national security, being strong for our servicemen and women.
Has not taken a penny.
That's phenomenal.
And he fights. Not, I mean, because this is a man that could just walk away and say, I don't want this headache, and he's financially set. But he fought this out for 4 years. He'll get my vote till he's ready not to run again.
Yeah. Well, he only gets one more term, Mike.
Well, I mean, the Democrats probably, we won't go in there. We're kind of getting off. Sorry. So what I want to do now is I want to just kind of transition with Julissa into the future and vision of what she foresees the DA's office could be. We're not going to dwell too much on what it hasn't been, but what it can be. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Comes to
what?
When you pound on the.
Oh, I am so sorry.
You're just like me, because I'm like, and then it's like so.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. So, Julissa, wonderful background, by the way.
Thank you.
There's a movie that's called Fools Rush In.
Yes, with Matthew Perry.
Yes. And there's also a sidebar on that too for her and I, but there's signs everywhere. You just got to be able to accept seeing the signs.
Yes.
And you saw a sign. You didn't realize at the time it was a sign.
Exactly.
But now you look back and have more wisdom. And somebody paid it forward with you by providing you books to get to where you are today.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely. And the opportunities to learn the practice of law so that I can be in a position to lead this office. I would never have thought that those opportunities were going to be awarded to me to give to everyone else. I would never have thought that. But I have led the prosecution of serious felonies. I have led the prosecution of thousands of cases. I have led the defense of other cases. I haven't just worked these cases. I have led them. I have guided them. I have provided supervision to many people. And what this office can be for this county is something stellar and something amazing. We can really serve our citizens well. We can protect our families. We can protect our properties. There's so much that can be done with this office. Even for example, our veterans, our poor veterans out there, Mike.
Yeah, expound on that a little bit.
Yeah. I have represented many veterans. After 2000, after 9/11, there were some young men who went to fight for us, obviously, and they wanted to protect our country. So they go over there and they re-enlist because these are fast wars. And they come back not ready to adjust and assimilate to civilian life, and they have the stress, and it could be a sound, it could be a smell, something they see that triggers such traumatic memories in them. And so their impulse control, their decision making is impaired. They haven't dealt with that trauma. And unfortunately, they're committing acts that are defined as criminal, and we are not giving them the opportunity to maintain their warrior status and clean up the mess that they suffered because they were protecting us.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
get it. And I'm glad that you totally get it, because that is a big issue for me personally.
I know you're a former Marine.
Right. I'm a former Marine, but these kids that are spending 8, 9, 10 tours in combat.
Yes.
And they're coming back, and we expect them to now assimilate what they were before they went over there. But yet when they're over there, we expect them to assimilate and be able to compartmentalize the gore, the blood, the sickening instances of war.
Yes.
So when they come back and they, like you said, they make these impulsive decisions. They go from being a big fish in a little pond to a little fish in a big pond, and they don't really know what.
And they're young. They're young. And we all know that there's plenty of studies to show that, the brain is still developing during that time. And we're still developing during that time. Their emotional health is developing. And they're still developing at 28 years old. And certainly they come back here and they don't want to know and hear that they have PTSD. And they don't want to know. there was a stigma before of it being a sign of weakness, but it really isn't. It's just something that needs to be treated, and we like to give them that opportunity.
Yes, yeah. It'll never change in the military the mindset that if you show a weakness like that, then you're not gonna be where your bud's at mentally. So they get back here, and we expect them, to hey, calm down.
Right.
All that we don't trust you to carry a gun anymore. Or we don't trust you to do this. When this guy was leading,
Sure.
all these warriors into battle.
Exactly. Always, you got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Right.
I mean, you're fighting for your life and for your country over here. You got to be ready. And then when you come over here, oh my gosh, it's a huge
I'm so glad
adjustment.
you recognize. Yes.
Yes.
Currently, is the DA's office have anything?
The DA's office does not have a Veterans Treatment Court. In fact, this administration has doubled down on not having a Veterans Treatment Court, and it seems to be we have plenty of judges on our benches right now who are willing to have a Veterans Court in their courtroom. We have a sheriff's office and willing to do that as well. We have a VA hospital willing to work with us. We have other veterans ancillary courts in Tarrant County and Dallas County willing to work with us, and the impediment is this administration. And I assure you, that will no longer be an impediment for this county to establish a Veterans Treatment Court. I will get it done.
I believe every word of that. You can see a conviction in somebody. You're not just saying what people want to hear. You're saying what's in your heart.
Of course.
And I think people can pick that out, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is so people who don't have that opportunity to go one-on-one with you, or to go to the Hardesty outfit.
Yes.
They have kids, life, all that stuff in the
course.
way.
Of course.
I want them to be able to watch this at their leisure. Of
course.
And see who Lisa is. I know who you are.
Yes.
And my wife knows who you are. The good people know who you are. And so it's kind of, my heart is in the Constitution. Everybody takes an oath of office in the law enforcement deal.
Sure.
Lawyers is included.
Yes.
DA is included.
Yes.
And we raise our right hand and we swear that we will follow that Constitution.
Of course.
Not bend it, not make it fit. That we'll follow that Constitution to what our founding fathers wrote. And they were brilliant. Good
oh my
Lord.
gosh. And the Constitution is like over 220 years old.
And they got it right.
And it